when n liters of fuel were added to a tank that was already a third full. So before we add anything, we know that this tank is 1/3 full. It already has a third. Actually, can I just write a third here? What does that mean? Well, that doesn't really mean anything, right? I need to say a third of what? And it's a third full. So let's say a third of its capacity, or a third C for this section. All right, then what happens? Then we add our additional fuel. We add our n liters on top of what's already there. And that leads us to now the tank is almost full, but not quite. Now the tank is 7/9 full. So this whole section is 7/9 C, or 7/9 of its capacity. And now we've got enough information here to set up an equation, right? This section plus this section leads to this section. So we know that a third of the capacity plus the n liters is going to equal 7/9 of the capacity. So we're in a good situation here. We've got a nice equation, and let's see. We've got two variables, but that's okay because the answer choices include variables. So we don't need to solve this for a value. So what are we solving for? What should we do algebra for? Well, the question asks, in terms of n, what is the capacity of the tank? So we want to do algebra until we have the capacity. So capacity equals, then on this side it'll be something to do with n. We don't know exactly what it'll be. So that's our goal. Algebra until we have just one C on one side and an expression with n on the other. So right now we've got C's on both sides. We want C's just on one side. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I guess I'll bring this guy over to this side. And that means, all right, so subtracting a third C from this side leaves me with an n. Subtracting a third C from this side, I have 7/9 C, and now minus a third C. All right, so what next? Well, I've got two terms with C involved. I just want one C. So to get that, I can factor out my C. So factoring out the C inside the parentheses we're left with, well, dividing this term by C leaves me just with the 7/9. And dividing this term by C leaves me with just a third. And then over on this side of the equation, I still have my n. All right, let's keep going. Let's simplify what's in here. And well, we're subtracting fractions, so we need the same denominator. So actually, let me just do this up here. If I want to rewrite a third, but with a 9 on the bottom, I guess I just multiply top and bottom by 3 to get 3/9. So 7/9 minus 3/9 is 4/9. And now we're almost there. We've just got to get the C completely by itself. And I guess one way to do that, right now it's being multiplied by 4/9. If I multiply this side again by 9/4, well then these are just going to cancel out and lead to 1. But if I'm multiplying this side by 9/4, I need to multiply this side by 9/4. And let's see, what happens from this? Well, as I said, 4/9 times 9/4, everything just cancels. And we're left with 1. So this side is now just C. And this side is just 9/4 n. So we know that C is 9/4 of n. And that is an answer choice. That is answer choice